This video is sponsored by Level 8 Luggage. Get 10% off using code Nonstop10. Today we're heading from Lisbon to Madrid by train. Now, you'd expect that two such important EU capital cities, which are just 500 kilometers apart in a straight line, are linked by a 2 or 3 hour high-speed train, right? Well, you'd be very much mistaken, so let's go and check out this tortuous 4-train, 12-hour journey together. Welcome to Lisbon. The Portuguese capital city sits on the country's Atlantic coast at the Tagus River estuary. Home to 2.9 million people in the metropolitan area, it's a stunning and vibrant place with so much history and stunning architecture. I'd highly recommend a visit. If you don't speak English, please enable the closed caption subtitles as they're translated into 140 languages for you. You can also now change the audio track to 8 other languages, including Spanish, Italian, French, German, Japanese and Hindi. Today's journey starts at Lisbon Santa Apollonia, one of the 2 main stations in the city. I'm a bit early, so I'm going to head to the Good Value Cafe over the road for some breakfast. I had an omelette sandwich, pastel de nata and a latte, a great way to start the day. Okay, heading inside and you'll find some automatic ticket machines and a staff ticket office. The first of 4 trains today is the 7:30 AM Intercity 511 service from Lisbon to Coimbra, which will take as far as Entroncamento. You can take the 8 AM Alpha Pendular service and still make the connection to the next train by around 10 minutes, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Santa Apollonia station, which dates back to 1856, is so beautiful. I love the old school style, the red paint and the metal train shed roof. Our train is operated by Comboios de Portugal, the Portuguese national operator. It's one of their second tier, long distance inter-ciudades services. There are just 2 second class and 1 first class coaches in the consist, with the only difference being the seats. We'll check them both out once we get on board. Hauling us initially is a CPE Class 5600 electric locomotive made by Siemens. These entered service between 1993 and 1995. They have a top speed of 220 km per hour and a power output of 5,600 kilowatts. We've got around 25 minutes before departure, so let me spend a quick moment to tell you about today's video sponsor, Level 8, who have now been supporting the channel for over 2 years, so a big thanks to them. If you need a new case for your travels in 2025, get a great deal with Level 8. In the past few months, I've been trying out the Roadrunner 20-inch carry-on, and it has really won my heart. It features ultra-quiet 360-degree durable spinner wheels for effortless movement and a quick access, lockable front laptop and tablet pocket. Its large 38-litre capacity and multitude of storage pockets is ideal for compartmentalising your packing. There is also a lifetime warranty for absolute peace of mind on endless adventures. Level 8 are offering my viewers a special discount of 10% off every order using code Nonstop10. Just click the link above now or in the description below. Boarding is not level, with 3 quite large steps up from the platform. Half of the first class coach features a small buffet and dining car area selling very well priced drinks and snacks. Luggage can be stored on the stacks in the centre of the coaches or on the overhead racks above all seats. Touristica or second class is in a 2+2 configuration with these green cloth reclining seats. Most are airline style, but there are 4 bay seats around a table in each coach. Some, but not all seats have power sockets too. There are also 2 pre-bookable bike storage spaces at one end of the coach. Moving through to Conforto or first class, which is in a 2+1 layout, again mainly airline style but with 1 bay around a table in the centre of the coach. This is where I'll be sitting this morning, in one of the single seats at the rear of the train. Luggage can only be stored in here on the large overhead racks, plenty big enough for my carry-on case though. Before we set off on this marathon journey, let's check out today's 4 train route from Lisbon to Entroncamento to Badajoz to Mérida and finally to Madrid. We depart right on time at 7:30 AM. Today's full journey is 739 kilometers in distance and is scheduled to take a quite frankly ridiculous 12 hours and 14 minutes of travel time, arriving at 7:44 PM. For example, Madrid to Barcelona is around 100 kilometers less in distance, but can be travelled in as fast as 2 hours and 30 minutes. There have been musings for many years about a high-speed line on this route, and honestly, it can't come soon enough. The total price, which I actually thought was quite reasonable all things considered, was €61.10. If you're not in a hurry, then it's quite a nice way to spend a day too, passing through some of the very varied landscapes with a nice stop for lunch once we cross into Spain. Leg 1 is from Lisbon to Entroncamento. This is on board the 7:30 IC 511 service, which will cover 106 kilometers in 1 hour and 2 minutes of travel time. If all goes to plan, this will allow a 35-minute connection to the next train. Let's check out the seats here in Conforto or first class. These coaches are based on the French co-rail ones and have large, comfortable armchair style seats. I'm a big fan of these. Legroom is good and there's a storage pocket, tray table and bin. Some, but not all seats have power sockets too. They are well padded all around and have a good ergonomic shape to them. On the way out of Lisbon, we call at the very stylish Orient station. This station in the east of the Portuguese capital opened in 1998. It allows north-south services to call at a major hub in Lisbon without venturing in and then having to reverse out of Santa Apollonia. We now run alongside the majestic River Tagus. This is the longest river on the Iberian Peninsula at 1,007 kilometers and one which we will see a few times later on in today's journey. The views in this part of Portugal are lush and green, with farming a major part of the local economy. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy sipping my iced latte with the rolling hills passing by. Every one of these coaches has a toilet, and from the rearmost one you get some great views from the best window on the train. There is a large depot and workshop located just before Entroncamento. This literally translates in English as junction, a very fitting name for a station that is one of the most important junctions in Portugal. Before long, we are pulling into the station right on time. As our train departs northbound to Coimbra, we see the National Railway Museum in the background. I visited here a few years prior to filming this video, and it's a good place to spend 2 or 3 hours. You even get half-price entry if you arrive by train and show your ticket. I'll show you some photos shortly. The station has a cute little cafe located on the central platforms, so I stocked up on a few drinks for the next leg of the trip. Our next train departs from this central bay platform at Entroncamento. It will be operated by this single coach Allen railcar. These actually date back to 1955, making them 70 years old. In 2000 they were heavily refurbished and modernised. They have a top speed of 100 km per hour and a power output of just 217 horsepower. Again, boarding is not level, but I did see a wheelchair lift down the far end of the platform when I got off the intercity train before. However, there is no wheelchair space and the toilet is not accessible. Seating is laid out in a dense 3+2 configuration, but due to both a large track and loading gauge in Portugal, they don't feel too cramped, even if they aren't particularly comfortable. Luggage can be stored on the overhead racks or at the ends of the coach. Legroom is tight. Let's just say I was glad there was no one sitting opposite me for this journey. We'll be travelling the full length of the Linha do Leste or Eastern Line, shown here on this map. As we depart right on time at 9:09 AM, again you can see the Railway Museum on the left. As promised, here's a few photos from my visit. Leg 2 is from Entroncamento, Portugal to Badajoz, Spain, just across the border. This is on board the CP Regional 481 service, which is 175 km in distance and is scheduled to take 2 hours and 45 minutes of travel time, arriving at 12:54 PM. There is a plus 1 hour time difference between Portugal and Spain. This will give me just over 1 hour and 20 minutes to have a quick look around Badajoz and grab some lunch. The scenery on this part of the route is very similar to that of the first, with lush green fields and farmlands on the east of Portugal, but the temperature is certainly starting to get hotter. We also pass many small stations with abandoned buildings on the platforms before again crossing the river Tagus. This is just south of Constantia, where the Zazeri River joins the main flow of the Tagus. In my opinion, this is the most scenic part of the journey, running alongside the river on this beautiful Iberian day, making for some perfect train window views. If you want ad-free early access to every video, great perks and to help me do bigger and better reviews, then become a channel member from just £1.99 per month. Just click the link above now or the join button in every video. Thank you! This train does have one toilet, although it is quite cramped. It was also dark, hence why I've enhanced the image in editing here. It was stocked up and all worked though. We cruise along at a leisurely pace of between 70 and 90 km per hour, and honestly, the ride quality is fine. A bit bumpy in places, but for a lesser used branch line and at these speeds it's more than okay. We do start to see the landscapes change, with cacti lining the tracks and browner fields denoting the much more arid climate in this part of the Iberian Peninsula. There is no stop as we cross the international border from Portugal to Spain, with both countries being in the Schengen free travel area. We just gain an hour on our clocks and carry right on. We are now in the Extremadura autonomous community of western Spain, and notice the much more developed infrastructure from new tracks to a large Amazon warehouse in the background compared to eastern Portugal. Shortly after, we pull into Badajoz station, and that's the second leg of this Lisbon to Madrid by train journey complete. I head out the front and take a quick peek at the impressive new station building's exterior, but soon retreat back inside to the air conditioning as it's currently 38 degrees out here. I'll be back properly to visit when it's much cooler, as I hear the city's Moorish architecture is stunning. Anyway, there's a little cafe in here, so I put my phone on charge and grabbed some lunch and an ice cream and just chilled for an hour or so. Our next train is the 1420 Regional Express service to Portugal, which will take as far as Mérida before changing to a Madrid-bound train. You can spend 4 hours in Badajoz and then take the direct Madrid-Alvia service at 17:43, but doing it my way means you arrive in Madrid 3 hours earlier. This train starts here, so it's already in waiting on platform 1. Despite the Media Distancia branding, this Renfe Serie 599 is our next ride on this regional express service. These CAF-built 3-car diesel multiple units have a top speed of 160 km per hour and a power output of 1,400 kilowatts. Boarding at either end coach has 4 steps up from the platform, so head to the centre door if you need level access. Seating on this train is all second class and all in a 2+2 layout, with the majority airline style with a few bays around tables. These are all well padded, pretty comfy and have a good ergonomic shape to them. They all have adjustable armrests and power sockets, along with good legroom, a footrest, storage area and a tray table. These are excellent seats for the regional or medium distance trains on which they are used. The central coach has pre-bookable bike spaces, along with level boarding from the door here, the central one on the train. This is next to the vending machines and wheelchair spaces. The accessible toilet is also next to here. This was large, fully stocked up and all working perfectly. Both luggage stacks and overhead racks are provided throughout the whole train to store your suitcases and smaller items. Again, we depart Badajoz perfectly on time at 2:20 p.m. Leg 3 is a short 5-stop 46-minute hop to Mérida, travelling a distance of 59 kilometres. Extremadura has a very low population density compared to the national average and is also one of Spain's poorest regions, with a GDP around half of that found in Madrid, Barcelona and the affluent northern provinces. This can be seen with many buildings either abandoned or in disrepair, and the relatively low frequency of intercity trains to and from other Spanish regions and the capital. Hopefully, once the high-speed line to Madrid is completed, this will change, with an increase in development and investment within Extremadura. It's a beautiful part of the country and one I've not visited nearly enough. We are now running alongside the Guadiana River, another important waterway in the Iberian Peninsula and another that forms part of the border between Spain and Portugal. It has a total length of 829 kilometres and empties into the Gulf of Cadiz in southwestern Spain. We pull into Mérida, Extremadura's capital city, right on time, and that's the third of today's 4 legs now complete. We have just a 15-minute connection here before our final train onwards to Madrid. It's another beautiful station, which although heavily modernised, still retains the classic external look and feel of the region, with the sandstone bricks and arched windows. Okay, no time to hang about here, it's straight back to the platform for the last train of this journey. It's another Renfe Serie 599 DMU for this final leg, the same as the last train, so I won't repeat the details again, although this one is actually running a Media Distancia service as advertised on the side. One of these was in fact the first train I rode on in Spain and filmed for the channel back in 2019 when I'd just started. I really like them and their electric counterparts, the Serie 449. They are very comfy and well designed, much better than nearly everything else Renfe run, short of the S103 and S100 Ave sets. This service is a bit busier than all the others we've been on today, but that can be expected as it's heading to the Spanish capital after starting in Seville over 3 hours ago. Although it does take the long way round, serving smaller communities. If you took a high-speed AVE service from Seville to Madrid, it would take just over 2.5 hours, compared to 7.5 on this service. AVE and Larga Distancia services have dynamic pricing and are much cheaper when booked in advance, but Media Distancia and regional services do not. These always cost the same, irrespective of when you book. After evicting a guy out of my reserved seat, we're off, departing on time at 3:21 PM. The fourth and final leg today is from Mérida to Madrid on this MD 17907 service. This will see us cover 399 kilometres in 4 hours and 23 minutes, with arrival scheduled for 7:44 PM. This is well over half the mileage of the route covered in the final third of the travel time, showing much higher average speeds on these Spanish lines than anything we've travelled on before now. A lot of the time we're zipping along at 160 km per hour, this train's maximum speed. We once again see the Tagus River, which has various reservoirs along its length. I believe this one is the Embalse de Alcantara, which is within the nature reserve of the same name. Anyway, there's not actually a great deal to show you on the remainder of this trip. All the nice views and interesting points are now behind us, so let's fast forward as we approach Madrid. On the way in, we see many of the 300 km per hour capable trains that currently run all over Spain. The high-speed network here has been transformative for the country and slashed domestic flights by over 75% in the last 15 years. So, in conclusion of this journey, what a ball ache this multi-legged trip from Lisbon to Madrid was. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but would a normal person with a family make it? Almost certainly not. They just take the 1 hour flight, as I have done before. I think it's best to say that it is possible to travel between the two Iberian capitals by train, but you probably shouldn't, at the moment anyway. I don't often make train videos and then recommend you to fly in the summary, but in this instance, that would be my conclusion. Once a high-speed line is complete and multiple daily 3 hour or less trips are possible, then yes, you should absolutely take the train. Anyway, we arrive on time at Madrid Atocha, the main station in the Spanish capital, after this 12-hour trip. Have you been on any train journeys that really need a much better connection than they currently have? If so, which ones and on which routes? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always open to new video ideas and suggestions, so drop me a DM on Instagram, Blue Sky or Twitter for anything you really want to see on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.